we're at this party. This dude, he wanted to ride bulls a little bit, but he was also a wrestler, and he's like 3 foot tall, and I mean he was that look, and we were at the party, and he was kind of mouthing, I was kind of mouthing back, and finally I mouthed a little too much, and he said something about my girlfriend. It wasn't even rude. It was something like, she's pretty, and I'm like, you got a problem, like. And so I was like, let's go outside and fight. This is dumb. I'm not proud of this, but I've learned from it. So we got in the parking lot, you know, and I'm going to air this cat out. And so I reached back to punch, and I load her the big punch. By the time that I reached my right arm back, this dude had caught it and took it around the back of my body and tied it in a square knot to my left foot. Like, I don't know how he did it. Like, he knew all these moves, and he got me down and beat me up. And the worst part was Drew Melvin, who's one of my very dear friends, 4-time NFR Bulldogger. He's holding people back. It's a fair fight. Let him go. And this guy is just punching me repeatedly in the face. I acted like I was knocked out, hoping he'd quit punching, and he kept punching. Like, he repeated punching and punching. Finally, they let me up, and I had to go to the emergency room, which is embarrassing because this was in college. I still had my parents' insurance. I had to call my mom at 2 a.m. and ask her about
what the insurance number was.
And I couldn't talk kind of good, and, you know. And after I got beat up, you know, he's standing there. I'm like, hey, man. I said, I just want to shake your hand because you won. You know, we're cool. So I shook his hand.
Settled.
And everybody is, you know, I had a pretty good reputation because I kind of strategically picked fights in college where I would
win.
Good.
Yeah.
And so all my friends are like, you let that little bastard beat you up. I'm like, he knows wrestling moves. Like, I'm like, what? They're like, he's 4 foot tall and he beat you up. And so everybody started making fun of me all the time. So we got to the bar, and I run into this guy and go, hey, what's up, man? So we kind of, like I said, he tried to ride bulls a little bit. And so we kind of started palling around, but every time this cat would get drunk, he would start mouthing me. He'd be like, hey, Rumford, remember when I beat your ass? And I'm like, yeah. And everyone's like, is that the guy? And I'm like, yeah. And they're like, oh, you were such a, I'm like, no, man. So people just made fun of me, but the more this cat drank, the more he talked bad about me.
Yeah.
And I was, after like a few months, I'm like, man, I gotta fight this guy.
I gotta do something.
I gotta prove myself. But I'm like, I was trying to think to myself, how can I beat him up? Because I can't. But I had to do something, and this is divine intervention. So I'm listening on oldies radio, and I hear the Bobby Bear song, "The Winner," where he's talking about fighting. And it clicks. I'm like, I know how to beat this guy up because he liked to party. I didn't have a lot of cash back then, but I knew the girl, the bartender, her name was Jackie. So I go to the ATM and get this plan because the kid was having his like 22nd birthday party at JC Cowboys in Weatherford. So he says, hey, he actually calls me, hey, we're getting drunk tonight. You coming out? I said, oh, I'll be there. I will be there. So I go to the bar, and then, like I said, I shouldn't tell a story, but go up to Jackie, and I said, Jackie, I got a deal for you. I said, I don't need you to ask any questions, but I said, I'm going to give you $100. This is your money. This is a tip. And I said, here's $150 for drinks, but you got to do what I ask. She's like, yeah, whatever you need, bro. I said, okay. Every time that I come to buy 2 shots for me and him, I said, you put Coca-Cola in mine, and you put straight whiskey in his. She's like, okay. So first deal we get there, you know, and everybody's still pretty sober. I said, hey, get over here, birthday boy. And he's like, what's up? I said, hey, you're on me tonight, baby, all night. I'm buying. He's like, you ain't got enough money. I'm like, I do today. So I said, Jackie, let's do some shots. So, boy, Jackie, she spins around, and she's got a Coke and a whiskey. And so let's down the hatch. So I take a drink, straight Coke, straight whiskey. Let's do one more. So all night, I'm just feeding this dude drinks, and I am dead sober. Actually, I bought a carton of cigarettes and a Red Bull, and so I was sitting there.
Not only sober, but you are wound up.
I'm sitting there, and this dude's drinking all night, hard. And about 1:30, the DJ gets on, and he's like, hey, we got a special birthday today. We'd like to give a shout out to John Doe, who's turning 22 tonight. Come on up here, John. Well, everybody knew him, you know, so he goes up there and everyone's going, speech, speech, speech. And he's like, well, it's good to be here. And the DJ says, what's the best part of turning 22? And he said, best thing I've ever done is beat Rumford's big ass in the back. Remember that, Rumford? I beat this shit. And I said, not tonight. And everyone's like, what? I said, let's try it again for birthday boy. And Drew Melvin from earlier. He comes over and he goes, you got to go. He is going to beat your ass again. I'm like, no, I got a plan. Well, I didn't tell you about the plan because didn't really want anybody to know. So we go outside, and this guy, he can't hardly walk. I mean, he's at a stumble. He can't even. His eyes were looking at each other before he walked outside. And when we get ready to go, I hit this dude with everything I had and dropped him. And then I got on top, and I punched him until I ran out of air. I mean, hard. And I'm like, I wasn't even punching. I was just slapping him in the face with my fingers at the end. And so finally they pull us off, and he gets up, and they drag him off and take him to the hospital. And I go home. The next morning he calls me, hey, Rumford, I just want to tell you, I don't even remember what happened last night. I guess you beat me up. I said, you saw me. I was shot for shot with you. I don't remember it. Did I win? He's like, yeah, man, you got me pretty good. I was like, yeah, I know. That's what everybody said. I beat the shit out of you, so just keep your mouth shut. It won't happen again. He's like, yeah, like I said, I'm not mad. You drank just as much as I did. We all do dumb stuff when we're drunk. I'm like, we do. But just don't ever open your mouth again or I will knock the shit out of you. Understand? He's like, yes, sir. And after that, he never ever tried to fight me again, and I haven't told until now. But he's probably 42, and who knows if he can still fight.
And what's his name?
Hey, we'll edit it out.
Not telling that, Sal.